course, your immigration consultant. Did you ever receive an email from the IRCC? This is actually a mass email to everybody that is applicable. It's just a way of information to every foreign national who have previously applied or presently applied to the immigration. The email says, change to work experience requirement for applicants under the Home Child Care Provider, which is the HCCP, and Home Support Worker, which is HWS pilots. Let me read the letter. September 7, 2023. That's today. Dear client, this notification is to inform you that on April 30, 2023, the amount of work experience in Canada required to qualify for permanent residence under the Home Child Care Provider pilot, nannies, in which you applied has been reduced from 24 months to 12 months. This means you will no longer need 24 months of qualifying work experience. If you already have at least 12 months of qualifying work experience in Canada, you can follow the instruction on the website to send the proof of experience. So it says here, send us your work experience. When you have 12 months of qualifying work experience, you just complete the Schedule 19B, Home Child Care Provider Pilot or Home Support Worker Work Experience Form or IMM 5910 and send it to them as a proof of qualifying work experience. Another one, you must send us this proof no later than 36 months, 3 years after you get your work permit. Send us a copy of the following documents to show that you have 12 months of work experience, your T4. When you submit your T4, you can always hide or cover the social insurance number to protect your personal information. Reference letter from your employer with this information included: the specific period you were employed, start and the end date, your position. If you are a caregiver, you put caregiver or elderly caregiver. If you are a nanny, you put nanny. But again, there's another option of saying those titles, which is in-home caregiver program, child care pilot, and the other one is home child care provider. So those are the two things. They're the same actually with the nanny, home child care provider pilot, and then caregiver for elderly, home support worker. Okay? And then of course that's the position, and then the description of your main responsibilities and duties, your job, the National Occupation Classification NOC code. If you know it, you can always Google it. I think they made it like TIER right now, TIRE. Or tier, I should say. Your total annual salary and benefits, the number of hours you work per week. Usually, the full-time job for all of this position, nanny, is at least 30 hours a week or to 40 hours a week, but not more than 44 hours a week, okay? Not less than 30 hours a week. Not 29.9, should be 30 hours a week. And that should be times 52 weeks, because if you calculate 1 year has 52 weeks, okay? So that's the full time. So that's the way immigration calculate the numbers of full-time working hour or legitimate working hour. So your employer's name, of course, the name of your employer, signature, full address, telephone number, and email address if this applies. Telephone number should be okay, but mostly right now they would prefer email. Any record of employment you were issued, like for example, if your employer is not your present employer already, or let's say you're not working with them anymore, ask for a record of employment from your previous employer so that you can show that as a proof. But if it is your present employer or you're still working with them, then ask for the employment certificate. Okay, so you don't need to have those two. You can only, if present employer, you're still working with your present employer, that will gonna be employment certificate. If they are your previous employer or you're not working with them, you're no longer working with them, then you have to request for record of employment. Your employer is required to provide an ROE to you if you stop working for them. Of course, you can also include the pay stub, the contract that you've signed before, and of course, any contract or job offer that you have signed together before you started your work. Now, how to send your proof of work experience? Send your proof through our web form. They said the web form, or just Google it again and then web form, just follow whatever things that you needed to do there. But if you have a representative like me, you can just give me all the headache. Send me all those previous documents that I've mentioned you, or together with your representative, you can do it together, or with your employer, then we can send it by web form. Yes, they said it's web form, but I can always send it by fax. I know directly their fax number as a representative. And of course, you can always send it by mail. Those are the three things that I've been using ever since. Web form is the fastest. I have a direct email for some officers as well. So if I do that, I'll just attention to any officers who's handling your paperwork, then that should be okay. So how to send your proof of work experience? Number one is web form. Since the pilots are not in the list of program, follow the steps, okay, on the web form. You have to choose no when asked if your application is being processed by an office outside Canada. That should be inside Canada. So when it's asked, you should answer no. And then under the type of application inquiry, choose in Canada permanent residence because you are in Canada. Then choose one of these options depending on which pilot you are applied to, which is A, caregiver, caring for children class, if you applied to the home child care provider pilot. Letter B, caregiver, caring for people with high medical needs, if you applied to the home support worker pilot. So don't get confused on those two things. They're both the same anyway. Then the maximum file size is 2 MB. 2 MB, if a file is bigger than 2 MB, you need to reduce the file size. How? I don't know. Have no idea. If you upload more than one file, the total maximum file size is 3.5 MB. They accept the file format like .pdf, .gpg, or .tiff, .doc or doc, or .docx. After immigration receive your proof of work experience, they will gonna make a final decision on your permanent residence based on whether your work experience meet the requirements and if you are still admissible to Canada. You may have taken another medical exam or submit new police certificate. It depends on the officer if they were gonna ask you those things. Okay, so this is my note as an immigration consultant. Since this has been out since April 30, 2023, it's been a while, and now it's September 7, they are asking you to provide those documents like employment, proof of experience and everything. I believe to those people who has an existing application for permanent residence, I would definitely highly recommend to all of you to actually seek another proof of experience from your employer, or if you have one on your hand, please provide them again through web form. Again, the instructions were there on the letter, and here's the explanation. Who knows, they might gonna be wanting a shortcut situation where they can easily release your permanent residence. So again, please do that. If you have an immigration consultant, ask your consultant. If you don't have, seek a consultation or even an immigration consultant, retain them. Don't take your application lightly. Again, this is Norris. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.